Today's video is a tutorial all about decoupage, blending, raised relief, and spackle crackle for mixed media, all in one video. Let's make art.
Hey everyone, it's Susie Lee with Bellalina Boutique. I'm going to be spackling and crackling today. If you're watching on the replay, make sure you say hey. And later on, if you're watching on YouTube, when I share this on over to my YouTube channel, you can say hey there too. I sure would love to chit-chat with you. Have any questions? I may not be really good about answering questions during my live. I try, but I always go back and I always answer any questions or make any comments. I always go back and respond. So comment away. One of these canvas boards today. I got this from the Hobby Lobby, aka Hobby Lobby, and I'm working with Ariba Rose rice paper today. Isn't this pretty? I love this rice paper. Love it. And a lot of times I shy away from using these boards, especially the bigger ones. This is a 14 by 18. I shy away from them because sometimes it's hard to find a frame or whatever, and they can get expensive, especially at Hobby Lobby. But I decided I'm going to make my own frame with this, with the spackling, with a relief form, with on the edge with the spackling. So what I'm going to do, let me tell you what I've done thus far. I've taped it off clearly with some painter's tape, and I have Mod Podged this on with the iron-on method. Many of you are familiar with it. Some of you are not. You put the Mod Podge on and let it dry completely, and then you put your rice paper. You can do it with a napkin. I love doing it with a napkin because I want wrinkle-free. A napkin doesn't give you wrinkle-free unless you Mod Podge it with the iron. So I have a little craft iron here, my little crafty iron, and that has to get heated up really well. And all I did was I took a piece of parchment paper and I put it over here and hit it with the craft iron. And you just go slow, just kind of, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20, all the way down, all over the whole thing. And what that does is it reactivates the Mod Podge. Even though it's dry, it reactivates it and it sticks it really nice. Then I let it sit for a little while longer. You don't have to, but I did. And I decided I will go over it with some Mod Podge to seal it. So I got my spackle. And what I did this morning was I came up here. I wanted to see, I had an idea in my head. I get those ideas sometimes. They roll around in my brain at night when I can't sleep. And I was thinking about crackling spackle. Anybody ever crackle spackle? Well, let me tell you, it can be done. So I took this piece of cardboard and I painted it black first because I thought, well, I want to see what happens if I paint it black and slap some spackle on it. Well, this is what happened when I did that. It just kind of got, like yucky. But I thought, I wonder what would happen if I painted dried spackle black. Okay, because if you've ever crackled, you know that you have to have a darker color underneath it, and it can't be metallic. So what I did was I painted I waited till the spackle. Easy for me to say. Anyway, here's the deal. I waited till the spackle dried and I painted it black. And then I went in with my spackle medium by Folk Art. This is not the fine line. This is Folk Art. Now, let me tell you a little trick about this that I learned. You can make it not fine line, but you can make it tiny lines, okay? Fine line is like that. It's like that refined porcelain cup that's been aged over time and it gets those little cracks and fissures in it. That's what fine line is, like what Miss Linda did earlier today. And that's lovely. I love it. But this is something that you can use if you want a little bit bigger crackle, you want a little bit more like a stone kind of a look or whatever, but you can get a smaller crackle if you take your brush when you're applying this. When you're applying this, first you put on the dark color, you let it all dry. And then you put this on and you shake it up really good because there's some sediment in the bottom that you want to make sure you get that kind of shook up a little bit. And when you put the Folk Art Crackle on here, you let that dry, okay? But when you put it on, you do a crosshatch technique, like, or you can take a smaller brush, and you want small lines like this. Let me show you these little lines. Can you see them up close? Can you see the lines in there? I hope you can. I'm hoping you're getting it. If you can see the lines in there, what you do is you go crisscross, crisscross, kind of crosshatch all over. If you want those big lines, those long crackle lines that look like wood that's been out, barn wood that's been out in the yard for about 10 years, and they got those big lines, crackle lines, then you just put the crackle on one stroke of it. Just, just get it on there. Don't go crisscross or any of that. Just get it on there, and then you let that dry, and then you put on your top paint, whatever that paint color is going to be. I used a white. Actually, I used a chalk paint here by Folk Art as well. I could pick this up at Hobby Lobby. So that's how I got this effect. Now I'm going to try and do some of that on this today. But before we do that, we got to paint. We got to do a little painting technique. I'm going to do just a quick decoupage camouflage around here with some paint. Just a little bit, not a lot. Just a little bit. I've got some paints here. I've got this green Folk Art terracotta. It's called Shale Green. It's fairly new. I haven't had it for very long. But I haven't had it long at all. I might not have even used it because I didn't take the plastic off. But I'm just going to take a little bit of it out here. I'm going to make a little palette with this ugly green, this ugly green plate I got at the Dollar Tree. Usually I use like styrofoam. This terracotta paint I find is on the thicker side. So if you need to thin it, you can thin it with a little squirt of water. And then what I do when I do my blending technique is I look at the colors that are in the piece and I try to match them up. Look at that green. That's pretty darn close, right? You got to put a little blue in it though, a little, this is called light turquoise, and I don't know if I'm going to use that one or not. This is called Amaze Mint, and I do like this a lot. It's I use this to get a nice kind of an aqua going. Yeah, that'll be pretty with that. You see how pretty that is? I love that color. And then there's another blue in here. I made a Tiffany blue a long time ago. I did a Audrey canvas, and I needed the color Tiffany blue. Did you know Tiffany blue is a copyrighted color? You can't use it like in a listing, like in an Etsy listing or something. Ask me how I know, because they'll take it down. They'll take your listing down. True story. Yeah. Who knew? I'm thinking, I did something in Tiffany blue, and that's what I called it. And they said, no. Yeah, they'll come after you. So I tell you what, the color police, right? So I have this brush. My Bellas know what I call it. What do I call this? This is my what? My slap it on brush, right? So I'm going to just wet it with a little bit of water just to get it going. I like to start with a little wet brush. Okay. All right. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to grab up some color. I might have to use a little bit of cream too. Just a dot of this. This is raw silk from Fusion Mineral Paint. And sometimes I like it just to blend colors. If they're too light, too dark, whatever, it helps me to get the color that I'm looking for. Because here we got darker green. Here we got a little bit lighter turquoise. So that's what I'm going to do. And I go right up to the rice paper and I touch it with the brush. So what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to start right over here on the dark side. The dark side. And I am, I'm on the dark side. All right. I am going to pick up this thickish paint here on my brush. And I want to add a little bit of blue to it. And I want to see what that does for me. What it does is it gives me like muddled colors that are in the painting. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go right up to the edge. Oh, you know what I probably do need to? One more little thing. Because if you want to lighten it, you'll use the creamy color. If you want to darken it, you need a little bit of black. You do. I'm just saying. So I do need a little bit of black in this. I can see. This is Fusion Mineral Paint black. So it, Yeah, I needed it a little bit darker, just a little bit. I can see right in here. Oh yeah, that almost matched. Seriously, folks. So what I do is I start dabbling all the way across, and I'm going to add a little bit of other blue in here just to try and bring up the color that's in those leaves a little bit, maybe a little amaze mint. And I'm just touching the leaves, get a little cream. And what I'm doing is I'm starting dark and I'm going to work my way out and make it more, what's the word? Faded. It's kind of a cool technique that I developed one day when I was trying to fix something I messed up. And what I did was I just played with the paints. I thought, you know what? I could do this. I could make this a little bit closer to the color. You got to have an eye for color, though. I mean, I got to say, you have to be able to try to color match a little bit. Like if you're colorblind, I mean, there are people, my father was colorblind. If you're colorblind, don't even bother with this technique. Just, you know, do your own thing, because, you know, you have to have some semblance of color matching. But then just get yourself a frame. Then just go get yourself a frame. What I'm doing is I'm just picking up some of these other colors here as it's lightening up here. I'm going to pick up some other colors. If you don't like the color when you're pouncing, this is a pouncing technique. If you don't like the color, that just pick up a lighter color or a darker color and try to get it to match what you're doing. Notice I'm not cleaning my brush. I'm just moving along, singing a song, all the way up. And I will show you this side when I'm done here, how cool it ends up looking. You've got all these colors in here, all these muddled, blended colors. Pretty. And if it gets a little bit too much on your, you can wipe it with a little bit of a baby wipe, because I sealed it with the Mod Podge, so that helps. If you make a mistake, you can wipe it off. See there? All right. Okay, now I'm getting to this corner up here. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of the creamy white. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the darker green, like that. Maybe a little bit of the Amaze Mint. And take it right to that corner. Okay? Okay, what I want to show you, because there's so many colors going on down the side here, what I want to show you is how, let me finish this side over here. There's a little bit of, I need to mix some blues to match that pretty blue there as it's going around the corner. Okay, and remember that your acrylic paint always dries darker. So as you're painting and trying to color match, keep that in mind. Okay, let me show you what we did so far. Okay, see how along the side here, how it's darker, how I kind of tried to color match that? So it looks like it's part of the painting. And then as I came up here, I just drew it up a little bit lighter in color. And then right here along here, you can see it's becoming more of a turquoise. So I kind of changed up the blues. I mixed up the blues, so I got a little bit of the same color that's going on in the painting. And it takes a little bit of practice. It's fun, you know, to see what you can come up with. You know what I might do? What did I do with my, oh, it's right here. I need a little spritz of water here on my brush. I don't want to dip it in water. I'm just going to take a little spritz here, and I'm going to spritz it in the water just a little bit. Because, like I said, this paint right here is dark. Yep. And I want to make sure, get a little of that blue in there. See, that gives me that turquoisey look that I'm looking for in this painting. See? And I'm taking it right on up to the, back this up a little so y'all can see. I'm taking it right up to the tape, to the painter's tape. Just going to go all the way around, just like that. And I'm going to keep trying to get it close to the color in the painting. A little bit darker. How can I achieve that? With a little, maybe a little dot of black. Why not? Yep. Sometimes you need to experiment with your colors. And if you need to do that, just dab your brush and go off to the side of the plate and then kind of see what you come up with. If it looks close, go for it. Especially if it's lighter. If it's lighter blue or lighter in color and hue, then you know you're going to be spot on when it dries. A little bit of gray and cream, because I see some like gray in here. Yeah, there we go. It went right from blue to gray. Crazy as it is. Okay. Can y'all see how this is coming together? Right up to that edge. Not too much. I mean, you don't need to repaint the picture, but the picture background is muddled like this, so that's what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to get that same effect. Sometimes I just grab up a little bit of black and slap it in there because you can. Just as long as your sides kind of match. That's what you want. And some of this is going to get covered up with spackle, PS. So I'm getting this Amaze Mint and mixing it in with that other blue, the Tiffany blue. Bringing it on over. Yeah. Okay, so once we get this painted, we can mess around with some spackle, crackle, all that stuff, because that's what the event is today. It's spackle and crackle. That's the color I'm looking for right there. I have to lighten that up just a little bit once it dries. Put it in some creamy, dreamy white. Yeah, this is a lot lighter at what I'm doing. I might have to go over it. This will be a good example for you to be able to see how you can color correct once you get it on your board. Just go in with the color that a little bit lighter, like this is like a light blue gray. So I'm getting a little bit of this black in with my blue. I'm creating a bruise here. And I'm just gonna go right up to it. Yeah, that's a lot closer in color than the green that was there. I had too much paint on my brush. It was getting sloppy. A little bit more blue. A little bit more green. Where's that other color? Nope. I think I need black and the cream to make it like kind of, yeah, like kind of grayish in this corner. I don't want to wipe it away. I want to blend it. I don't want to see the little pounce marks. I want it blended. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of taking some paint off a little bit by dabbing it on this paper towel, going around where there's extra paint on here, and just dabbing it off a little bit so that I can take and blend it right into the picture like that to make it look like it's, you know, part of the scene, right? Coming around the corner, blending it up. What I'm trying to do is not change the color of the background of the rice paper, but just kind of blend the two, marry the two colors, the edge and the center together, if you will. That gives it more of an authentic painting look. Okay, now I got some dark down here again by these leaves. So I'm going to take the dark and I'm going to take a little bit of the cream and a little bit of that green and mix them in and see what it gives me. If it gives me the color, yep, it's exactly the color of the side here. I might lighten it up just a tad with a little bit of the cream. And it's okay if it's not just one color. You're not looking for a solid color. You're looking for lots of colors. Okay. Got some black here. Because this leaf is almost black. It's a dark charcoal gray. So I'm just trying to match it here. And well, let's get some greens and some blacks. Once you get away from the picture, you can go crazy. You can make it any color you want. You can make it lighter and darker. All those pretty colors all together make it look like that's what you meant to do. I meant it to do that. Make this a little bit more minty, a little bit more bluish in this corner, coming from that teal color. Just bring it out away from the painting. You don't want one color, you want lots of color. Okay. Let me make sure that it got all the spots. I think I did. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you what we got. Ta-da! So you see where all that blending took place? I mean, it's not perfect. If I had more time, I probably would play with it a little bit more. But we are going to be covering some of this, as I said, with some spackle. So I'm going to hold on to this because I might need that black just a little bit. I'm going to take this paint off, the painter's tape rather, off. So we have a nice clean line all the way around because this will be like our faux frame. We're going to dry this up slightly. And I'm just going to go around the edge with my brush and some, I'm going to mix some of this brown if I can. Let's see. I've got some espresso, not much of it. I might add a little black to that and make it just like a black brown. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's do that. Let's take this little bit of black that's in the plate here and darken that up. Might make it even darker. You love playing in your paints? I do. Because it's just paint, right? People get all excited about it. It's just paint. You can paint over it if you don't like it. This is going to be a relief pattern all the way around with the spackle. So, all right, what I'm going to do, so I'm going to paint the edges here with my brown, the dark, right all the way down. I'm going to try to keep a straight line here. Can. If I can. My husband always lets me do the trim because I do have a straight or a pretty steady hand. Well, I used to be steadier, but if you're not sure, then you can always use painter's tape. Just, wait a day until this really cures and then go in and do the edge, or, however you would like to do it. This is super thin paint, P.S. I probably got enough to do 5 of these because it's real runny, I'm noticing. And for me, I always find that pulling down is easier for me than going up. I can do a straight line way better if I'm going downward. If I'm on an angle and going downward, I'm good. I like to do it more on an angle like this, if you're looking for a straight line. Because then you can go back and fill in. See, that's how I do my trim work when I'm painting the house. Just like that. It's a lot easier. And you go back and fill it in. I do the sides too, even though it's a little tiny bit of a board. I do the sides too. Okay. Okay. Gotta make sure I get those sides. Probably missed some at the top. I'll go back and turn. Okay. Start on an angle. Get your brush loaded up real good, and then start at an angle and pull down just like that. And it makes a nice straight line. Well, pretty straight. Not as straight as if you had tape, but you need a nice flat brush like this. And I'm not even worried that some of it's kind of not blended, like the black and the brown is kind of not blended real well. That's okay, because the relief pattern that's going to go over top of this, you're not going to see much of it. All right. Last one. Let's get her done. Now you got a frame, almost. We're gonna make it an ornate frame though. We're gonna pretty it up a little. I love this rice paper from Reba Rose. It's pretty. Okay. All right. So let's dry this up a little bit, shall we? Okay, I think this is dry enough to go forward. Ta-da. Okay, what I did was I took, because my spackling was a little on the dry side, so I took it and put it in one of these cups, and I added a little bit of spray in there, like that. This is an Essential Stencil lace stencil. I love it. It's so pretty. I'm going to do the raised relief with this stencil. Using the corner first here. Can I get this thing in here? I think I can. This is also a tool for putting on from Essential Stencil. It's for transfers, scratching it. So, okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get this right at the edge, squared off, and we're going to do a little raised relief here, starting at the edge like this. The edge, and whoop, with my, now the spackle is like the consistency of toothpaste. That's what you want. You don't want it too dry. You don't want it too wet, like that. You get a good amount on your applicator, and you just kind of scratch it on in there, and you make sure that it's all white before you lift it. Okay. And a lift. Oh, that's pretty. See that? Can y'all see how pretty that is? Who needs a frame, right? Who needs a frame? Not I. Look at how pretty that is. Look at that. So we're just going to go around the whole kit and caboodle here with this. And it doesn't have to be perfectly lined up because it's lace, and it all, just a little, it all kind of matches up in the end. And now it's like the consistency of toothpaste, and it's perfect. Okay. Saturdays, I usually don't go live on Saturday, but this event is special. Yep. So now you can see we have, it almost looks like a mat, like a photo mat, right? Look at how pretty that is. Isn't that pretty? And then what I'm going to do, since I have 5 minutes, whole 5 minutes, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that spackling, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spackle crackle. I'm going to take, maybe I'm going to use the other tool because it might be easier because it's a little bit more narrow, but you can see it's still this consistency of toothpaste. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to get in here and make it look like some schmear, you know, the German schmear. I love that. I love that look. I might even just like get right in there on the piece like that. But it has to be thick in order to do the spackle crackle. It's got to be like, it's got to be a little on the thick side in order to do that. I think we can do it. I just want to, I'm probably going to go around and add some more of this, but I'm going to see if I can real quickly show you guys how to get this to crackle. All you do is you dry your spackle. So I want you to see that technique. Well, you saw it on my little fake board here, but I want to show you how to do it in reality. You're going to take a little bit of black paint. I will play with this till the cows come home tonight. Maybe even after they come home. I want to get this dry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get in here with some of this black. Yeah. I'm going to get in here with a little bit of this black. They're like, Susie, what are you doing? Trust the process, kids. Trust the process. Okay. Like that. And I'm going to dry that up really quick. Take some of this. Look at this. I'm ambidextrous. So it kind of makes it look a little old world-ish. Can she do it? And the crowd cheers. Okay. So I want little crackles, right? I don't want them great big honking ones. I want the little ones. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go this way and that way, this way and that way. I'm going to go all the different ways with the crackle medium. This is folk art. I love it, love it, love it. Been using it for years. It's one of my go-tos. Okay. And you just put it on going in all the directions like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to dry it up. You're going to take some paint, you're going to paint over it, and it's going to crackle. Teeny tiny crackles. Okay? This isn't completely dry, so I'm not sure it's going to work. If it doesn't, I'll do it again on my own. But I just want you to see what happens when you put the white paint on. You don't need much. Like that. And it starts to crackle like immediately. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to put it up close, but right before your eyes, it starts to crackle. If you dry it, it crackles really well. So anyway, I got to go. My time is up. All right, guys, have a great rest of your night. Bye, guys.